Order in the court. Order in the court. The attorney for the state will kindly continue.
Mr. Nolan, is it not true that you were part of a conspiracy to destroy the government of the United States?
No, that is not true. That is not true, I tell you.
Do you dare to deny your friendship with Aaron Burr?
No, I don't deny that. But I do deny all your accusations of treason.
Lieutenant Nolan, Aaron Burr has shown himself to be an enemy of the United States government. As an American officer, your country's enemies are your enemies. By your association with Aaron Burr, you betrayed the uniform you wear, the flag you follow, the country you profess to serve. That is true, is it not, Mr. Nolan?
No, it is not true. It is not true.
You still dare to defend your association with Aaron Burr?
I don't think it needs defending. I only talk to the man.
You don't think it needs defending? You need say no more, Lieutenant Nolan. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Philip Nolan, rise and face the court. Philip Nolan, is there anything you wish to say to show that you have always been faithful to the United States?
The United States? Damn the United States! I wish I may never hear of the United States again!
Who was that man? Who would dare utter such treason? Let me tell you a story, America, about you and your growing. Not a story of a national hero, but of Philip Nolan, who severed a bond before he knew its value. Listen to the story of the man without a country. Think back, way back to the 1800s. Remember? You were still an adolescent then. You were proud of being a nation of 17 states. And you were beginning to speak grandly of adding Michigan, Indiana, and Mississippi, and becoming 20. Zealous old Tom Jefferson was in the White House. Down in the South was a man named Aaron Burr and a man named Philip Nolan. They say now, now that history has sifted the facts and weighed the evidence, they say Philip Nolan was as fine an officer as any in the Western Division. Oh, he was a little more hot-headed than some, a little swifter to anger than others, a little too quick sometimes about getting his 2 cents of opinion in, but he was not alone in this. There were many dashing young gallants like him, as ready to die for a kiss as a flag. And Philip Nolan might have gone to his final sleep among the vine-covered homes of the dead in Orleans, as quietly as any of them, had a star not crossed his path one night.
Mr. Nolan, I'm Aaron Burr. I'm told you're a young man of remarkable promise. I should like to talk to you about your future.
Why, thank you, sir. I hardly know what to say. Thank you very much.
A star comes that way sometimes. Sudden, blinding, dazzling. Aaron Burr came as a disguised conqueror. Rumor had it that there was an army behind him and an empire before. But that first day in Orleans, though Philip Nolan wasn't to know it for a long time yet, he became the man without a country. It was only a step from Aaron Burr's side to a trial for treason.
The United States versus Philip Nolan.
He was bewildered, deeply hurt, embittered. Above all else, he was young. An older man would have checked his anger. A traitor would have been wise enough to hide his feelings, but Philip Nolan was neither a wise man nor a traitor. A moment's silence, and then those words that were to echo forever through his life.
I wish I may never hear of the United States again!
I wish I may never hear of the United States again.
I wish I may never hear
The words filled the courtroom, shivered against the walls. No one spoke, no word fell to combat those other words. Half the officers in the room had served through the Revolution. They had fought their way, starved and frozen through endless bitter months, so that one day a people could say, "This is my country." Judge and the jury rose and left the court wordlessly. No one else stirred. Someone in the back of the room sighed, and someone else coughed. That was all. 15 minutes went by like 15 years before the judge returned.
Prisoner, hear the sentence of the court. The court decides, subject to the approval of the president, that you shall have your wish. You will never hear the name of the United States again.
It was the fall of 1807. It would be 1863 before he heard her name again. The leaves would grow red in Maryland soon. They'd be piled along the Potomac for burning. Their smoke would spiral into lace against the November skies. They'd be tapping the trees for maple sugar in the Vermont woods, and the New England housewives would gather in their spiced kitchens to prepare the Thanksgiving puddings. The Cape Cod fishermen would go out in the misty dawn for their nets, and the harvest would be a bright promise on the Indiana hillsides. The Blue Ridge and the Allegheny and the Rockies would pull the snow up over their shoulders and settle down for the winter. And the Mississippi would go slipping on through the heart of America. There would be hearth fires and Christmas trees, and there'd be dances. There would be church service and wedding ceremonial and baptismal. But not for Philip Nolan. His was the sea and the bitterness of salt on his lips and no port at evenings. And in one sudden, heart-stabbing moment, Philip Nolan knew what he had lost.
Sir, you will receive from Lieutenant Neal the person of Philip Nolan, late a lieutenant in the United States Army. You will take the prisoner on board your ship and keep him there with such precautions as shall prevent his escape. You will provide him with such quarters, rations, and clothing as would be proper for an officer of his late rank. But under no circumstances is he ever to hear of his country or see any information regarding it.
So Philip Nolan walked the decks of the Seven Seas, and he thought about America. But he never asked about her. He talked to his shipmates about the weather, about the sea, about all things but home. In foreign ports where he was rarely permitted to go ashore, he filled his days with reading. But in the books and in the papers given him, there was no mention of America. For him, she was only a dream that had ceased existing. He was a ghost among his companions, drifting from port to port, listening to a word that filled his heart, that reached him in the wind, that sighed from the rigging, that the waves whispered through the midnight. One word: America.
The grass is blue in Kentucky this spring. Wouldn't you like to ride through it with the earth hard and firm under your horse's feet? Think of it, earth under you.
The flower girls are in the streets of Orleans now. It's almost time for the Mardi Gras. Remember the girl you kissed at the Mardi Gras?
The fields are white with cotton now. The slaves are singing. What would you give to hear their voices?
The snow is thick and white in New England. They are riding through it to the Christmas parties. Can't you hear the sleigh bells? How long is it since you heard sleigh bells?
Leave me alone. I can't stand thinking anymore. Oh, God, let me stop remembering.
I wish I may never hear of the United States again. I wish I may never hear of the United States again.
The court decides, subject to the approval of the president, that you shall have your wish.
No! No! Oh.
The men were kind enough. On Sunday afternoons when they sat on deck, smoking and chatting, they invited Nolan to join them. He had a pleasant voice, and sometimes they asked him to read to them. One day, the reading sessions came to an abrupt end.
Here, Nolan, let's have something out of this.
The Lay of the Last Minstrel. Walter Scott, eh?
Yeah, it's a new book the captain sent down. He says there's some nice stuff in it.
Well, let's have a look at it. Breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself has said, "This is my own, my native land," whose heart hath ne'er within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned from wandering on a foreign strand. If such there breathe, someone else finish it. I'm something to attend to below.
Philip Nolan could never find peace. Ships docked, set sail, men went home on leave. He watched in wordless agony. He thought of candlelight on warm, gracious tables, of gardens where a man could crumble the rich soil in his fingers, of linens whipping on the clotheslines and the friendly smells of kitchens. He thought of moonlight on hair that was soft as silk to the touch, of eyes liquid in the starlight, of lips velvet smooth and ripe for kissing. He thought of arms opened wide to gather in the returning sailor, and one special voice that would say, "Welcome home." He thought of perfume and music and the rustle of silk. He was young, and there was a fierce hunger in him. Then one night in the Mediterranean, some ladies were invited aboard for a ship's ball. All that was young in Philip Nolan died that night, as he stood on deck, looking at the girl he had loved a lifetime ago.
Anne Emery.
Why, Philip Nolan. This is a surprise. You're looking splendid, Philip. The sea evidently agrees with you.
I'd forgotten how lovely you are.
You must have forgotten many things.
It's almost impossible to believe, finding you way out here.
I'm on my way home. I've been visiting in France.
I tried to see you before I left. And they wouldn't let me see anyone.
I understand. I was very busy at the time anyhow. I was married soon after you left.
Married?
Yes, of course. Hadn't you heard? I have a little boy now.
A little boy? You must be very happy.
I am, Philip.
It's so strange that we should meet again way out here.
I'm a little sorry we did meet. I'd forgotten you. It was better that way.
I loved you very much. I loved you and I lost you. And everything else I loved in one mad moment. Oh, my dear.
I think we should get back to the dances.
Yeah, of course. Anne, would you tell me just one thing? What do you hear from home?
Home, Mr. Nolan? I thought you were the man who never wanted to hear of home again.
I beg your pardon. Good night, Anne.
Philip Nolan knew in that moment how alone he was. One man with only the sea for the rest of his life and one nameless port at the end of it. The days became weeks, and the weeks years that marched across his forehead and left him old. His eyes were deep pools of loneliness, his heart completely empty. No one knew until the day he was dying how deep his hurt had gone. No one knew until that day when they entered his room for the first time and found it a shrine to America. Stars and stripes were draped around a picture of Washington, and he had painted a majestic eagle with its foot clasping the whole globe. At the foot of his bed was a great map of the United States, drawn from memory.
Here, Captain. You see, I have a country.
Yes, I see, Nolan. How do you feel? Is there anything I can do for you?
Captain, I'm dying. I'll never see my country again. But there's not a man on this ship or in all the United States that loves her as I do. Would you tell me about America?
Tell you about America? How can I begin to tell you about America?
He had left America in 1807. It was 1863. War had come and gone in 1812, and Francis Scott Key had sat on a British battleship and written the national anthem. Jackson had taken the Florida Territory. A new flag had been raised in Washington with 13 alternate stripes and 20 stars. 9 presidents had been in the White House. The Monroe Doctrine had been born, the cornerstone of American foreign policy.
The continents of the Western Hemisphere are henceforth not to be considered as subjects for future colonization by any of the European powers.
The United States had begun to gather themselves into a nation.
It is not the states, but the people of the nation who have made the Union. It is, sir, the people's constitution, the people's government, made for the people, answerable to the people.
Tell him about America. Tell him about Peter Cooper's steam locomotive, the Tom Thumb, drawing its first train of cars over 23 miles of the B&O Railroad. Tell him about America. Andrew Jackson had moved the Indians west of the Mississippi. Arkansas, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa had joined the nation. The Battle of the Alamo had been fought in Texas and gold discovered in California. A new nation had spanned 2 oceans, and in the White House was the president whose words were the voice of the new nation.
Of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Tell him about America, the power, the color, the strength, the beauty, the tears, the triumphs. Tell him so that he knows the glory he thrust aside.
She's a great nation, Captain. A great nation.
Yes, Nolan, a great nation. Nolan. Nolan!
And so his last thought was of his country. Before they lowered him into the sea, they draped the flag of the United States over his coffin. How proud that would have made him. The captain intoned the last rites. The bugler played taps. And the ceremony was over.
Men, we found this paper in Nolan's things. Bury me in the sea. It has been my home, and I love it. But will someone not set up a stone for my memory at Fort Adams or at Orleans, so that my disgrace will not follow me through eternity? Say on it, in memory of Philip Nolan, lieutenant in the Army of the United States. He loved his country as no other man has ever loved her, but no man deserved less at her hands. We will do as he wished.
And so, although the sea claimed him, his soul would know the feeling of land again. The flowers would be near him, and the trees and the earth of America. He would know the seasons and the pulsing life of the nation. There would be a flag over him and the knowledge of belonging. And thus, the man without a country came home to America.
The sky was red, thunder rumbling overhead. Bad King George couldn't sleep in his bed, and on that stormy morn, old Uncle Sam was born.
On birthday!
Old Sam put on a three-cornered hat, and in a Richmond church he sat, and Patrick Henry told him that while America drew breath, it was liberty or death.
What kind of hat is a three-cornered hat?
Did they all believe in liberty in those days? Nobody who was anybody believed it. And everybody who was anybody, they doubted it. Nobody had faith. Nobody. Nobody but Washington, Tom Paine, Benjamin Franklin, Chaim Solomon, Crispus Attucks. Nobodies.
The nobodies ran a tea party in Boston.
Betsy Ross organized a sewing circle.
Yeah, and Paul Revere had a horse race.
And a little ragged group believed it. And some gentlemen and ladies believed it. And some wise men and some fools. And I believed it too. And you know who I am.
No, who are you, mister?
Yeah, how come all this?
Well, I tell you, it's like this.
No, let us tell you.
Mr. Tom Jefferson, a mighty fine man.
He wrote it down in a mighty fine plan, and the rest all signed it with a mighty fine hand as they crossed their T's and dotted their I's. A brand new country did arise.
And a mighty fine idea.
Adopted unanimously in Congress July 4th, 1776.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights.
That among these rights are life,
Yes, sir.
liberty,
That's right.
and the pursuit of happiness.
Is that what they said?
The very words.
That does sound mighty fine.
Building a nation is awful tough. The people found the going rough, and 13 states weren't large enough, so they started to expand into the western land.
Still, nobody who was anybody believed it. And everybody who was anybody, they stayed at home. But Lewis and Clark and the pioneers, driven by hunger, haunted by fears, the Klondike miners and the 49ers, some wanted freedom and some wanted riches, some liked to loaf while others dug ditches.
They believed in it,
And I believed it too, and you know who I am.
No, who are you anyway, mister?
Well, you see, it's like this. I started to tell you that I represent... Oh, yes, that's it.
let my people go.
That's the idea. Old Abe Lincoln was thin and long. His heart was high and his faith was strong. But he hated oppression, he hated wrong. And he went down to his grave to free the slave.
Man in white skin will never be free while his black brother is in slavery.
And we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Abraham Lincoln said that on November 19th, 1863, at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
And he was right. I believe that, too.
Say, we still don't know who you are, mister.
Well, I started to tell you. There it is.
The machine age came with an awful roar, and America grew in peace and war. And a million wheels went round and round, as cities reached up to the sky and dug down deep into the ground. And some got rich and some got poor,
But the people carried through.
our country grew.
Still nobody who was anybody believed it. And everybody who was anybody, they doubted it. And they are doubting still, and I guess they always will. But who cares what they say when I am on my way?
Say, will you please tell us who you are?
What's your name, buddy?
Where are you going?
Who are you?
Well, I'm the everybody who's nobody. And I'm the nobody who's everybody.
Yeah, well, what's your racket, friend?
What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm an engineer, musician, street cleaner, carpenter, teacher.
How about a farmer?
Also,
Office clerk?
yes, ma'am.
Mechanic?
That's right.
Housewife?
Certainly.
Factory worker?
You said it.
Stenographer?
Yes, ma'am.
Beauty specialist?
Absolutely.
Bartender?
Absolutely.
Truck driver?
Definitely.
Miner,
Seamstress?
ditch digger,
All of them I am, the et ceteras and the and so forth that do the work.
Now, hold on here. What are you trying to give us?
Are you an American?
Am I an American?
I'm just an Irish, Negro, Jewish, Italian, French, and English, Spanish, Russian, Chinese, Polish, Scotch, Hungarian, Litvak, Swedish, Finnish, Canadian, Greek, and Turk, and Czech, and double-Czech American. And that ain't all. I was baptized Baptist, Methodist, Congregationalist, Lutheran, Atheist, Roman, Catholic, Orthodox, Jewish, Presbyterian, Seventh-day Adventist, Mormon, Quaker, Christian Scientist, and lots more.
you sure are something.
Our country's strong, our country's young, and her greatest songs are still unsung. From her plains and mountains we have sprung to keep the faith with those who went before.
We nobodies who are anybody believe it. We anybodies who are everybody have no doubts. Out of the cheating, out of the shouting, out of the murders and lynching,
Out of the windbags, the patriotic spouting, out of uncertainty and doubting, out of the carpetbag and the brass spittoon, it will come again. Our marching song will come again.
simple as a hit tune, deep as our valleys, high as our mountains, strong as the people who made it.
For I have always believed it, and I believe it now. And you know who I am.
Who are you?
America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, must be ever
Star-Spangled Banner yet wave.
Land of the free.